Hi, my name is Michaela, and in today's video, I'm going to show you a few ways that you can progress and challenge your calf raises. Calf raises are the movement in which we rise onto the balls of and lower the heels back to the floor. And this is a wonderful movement for runners and for people to use their legs to walk through life. So I personally love calf raises because I'm a trail runner. I spend a lot of time running in the trails in fairly technical terrain. So that means that I have to do a lot of navigating around rocks and roots and uneven surfaces. And I find that when I'm diligent about doing my calf raises, my body feels better and more supported on those runs. But I also find that just anybody who's looking to improve balance, feels stronger and more stable as they go through their life, calf raises are very, very helpful for that. So the simple calf raise, as I said again, is the act of rising onto the feet and lowering back down. Now you can do this for a while, but you might start to feel like you lose that sense of challenge and strength because the body needs stimulation to continue to get stronger. So one way that you can progress, or I like to think of this more like a finesse of the calf raise, is to use a ball to just give yourself a little bit more control in the calf raise. So with the ball, we'll put it between the heels, right underneath that big knobby bone on the inner ankle, and we're going to squeeze that ball between the heels. Feel the feet point forward, and then we're going to press into the balls of the feet, lift the heel, and your only job here is to not drop the ball. Lower those heels back down, and as soon as your heels touch the floor, rise right back up. Lower back down. Continue there and just notice how this ball between the heels gives you something to hug into, which is going to prevent the heels from the tendency that I often see to splay out or to fall in. So what we're trying to avoid here is that tendency for the heels to wobble out as you come up or to fall in as you come up or down. And the ball is just a nice task. All we have to do is squeeze the ball, and if you squeeze the ball, then you don't let your feet fall in or out. This is, like I said, a nice way to finesse your calf raise so that you feel just a greater sense of control. You're training the muscles to find this nice straight line up, straight line down. And this is a great one to play with. If you feel like you're looking for more challenge in your calf raise, one way to do that is to play with the tempo. For playing with the tempo, I highly suggest working on the eccentric or the lowering phase. Working eccentric is a great way to not only build strength in the muscle, but in the connective tissue as well. So an eccentric calf raise might look like rising onto the balls of the feet for a count of 1. So you go up quick, 1. I like to hold at the top for 1, 2, then lower for 1, 2, 3, 4. As soon as those heels touch the earth, you rise right back up for 1. And a lower for 4. Rise for 1. Hold for 2. And lower for 4. And if you gave that a shot, you might feel that there's just a little bit more activation required to control that descent against gravity. Option number 2 for making your calf raises a little bit more challenging. Grab a yoga block or 2, or head to a step in your house. If you have a set of stairs, or if you need to go outside and go to your porch steps, feel free to do that. I'm going to set my 2 blocks up on their lowest height, and all I'm doing is just building myself a nice little runway that I'm going to step my feet onto. The balls of my feet are on the blocks, but my heels are off. If you're someone who does have a little bit of balance challenge, grab a chair or go next to a wall so you have some support here. And from here, we're going to do our calf raises, lifting up and lowering down. What we're finding here is a little bit more range of motion in the calf raises, which means that we're going to increase our time under tension, or the time that we're recruiting our muscles. I'm just going to turn these to the side so you can see. So what this looks like, my heels will be down a little bit lower, so I'm starting my calf raise from a lower position, which means I have further to go to come up to the balls of my feet there. And then I have further to go to control that lower in that longer range of motion. Which really just means, again, that we're recruiting our muscles for a longer period of time in the calf raise. The other little benefit that you're getting here is, especially with foam yoga blocks, you're getting a balance challenge, which means that you're going to have to recruit more of our proprioceptive or our balance ability to control this movement. You could, of course, do some tempo work on the blocks as well, so you can add that in if you like. Good. And if you're doing these with me here, then the next time you lower, just carefully step off the blocks and notice how that felt compared to your standard calf raises. Did it feel more challenging? Did it feel a little bit more wobbly? See how you feel. Our next way to progress our calf raises is to simply add load. So I've got a dumbbell here. I'm going to hold this dumbbell in my hands, and of course, if you have two dumbbells, you can hold one in either hand. I'm just going to hold it from the top there and let it rest between my two hands. Feet start off about parallel, about hip width distance, finding that comfortable starting point for yourself. And then just like before, we're going to raise onto the balls of the feet and lower back down. Lift up. And lower back down. And this one's pretty self-explanatory. You're adding weight. You're asking your muscles to lift against a higher load, causing them to have to work a little bit harder to recruit more neurologic connection, which is really what we're looking for to build strength. For runners, I absolutely love this one because running is pretty much just a series of landing on a single foot. And when we land on that single foot, we've got 3 times our body weight going into that foot, that leg. So it becomes really important to be able to manage quite a high amount of load on one leg. Adding weight into your calf raises is a way to get yourself closer to that 3 times body weight that you'd want to train for your running. So if you're doing these weighted calf raises with me, I'm sure you can feel quite a bit of work going into the legs, and you can release that weight whenever you're ready. Good. And our last way here today to build some additional strength in our calf raises or to increase the challenge is to go into single leg calf raises. There's a few ways to do this, and so I'll break it down. So this in itself is like its own progression. I really enjoy using the blocks for my single leg calf raises, but for today, I'm just going to show you straight up no blocks. Come to a wall so you have a little bit of extra support should you need it. And if you're starting with single raise calf raises, begin on 2 feet. So you'll raise up on both, shift your weight over to that right foot, lift your left foot, and lower slow onto the right. Put 2 feet down, rise up, shift to the right, and lower down. Good. And of course, repeat that for as many reps as you want, and then do the same thing on the left side. From there, you can start to raise and lower on one leg. So what that might look like is maybe just getting really light on your left toes, raising up on your right, take the left toes away, and lower. You might do that for a while. It could be a few weeks, it could be a few months, until you get yourself feeling strong and stable with that little bit of support from the left. And of course, repeat on the other side for about an equal number of repetitions. And then lastly is to go into the full movement on a single leg. Again, a wall or a windowsill, a chair is really nice for balance here. So take that left foot away, rise up onto the ball of the right, and lower yourself down. Now, eventually you might get to the point where you can do these single leg calf raises without the wall, but you might find that you have a little bit less control and you kind of lower faster. I really enjoy working that lowering phase of the work section so that, again, that I build that eccentric, that control against gravity. But you decide what feels right for you. So if you need the chair to help you lower a little bit slower, please go ahead and use it. If you like working that single leg without the supportive balance so you can really challenge your balance and your support of the single leg, by all means, that's totally great. If you have any questions on this, please leave a comment. Please reach out. I'd love to chat. In the meantime, enjoy working with your strong lower legs.